Alright, welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney. We had just finished talking to Gregson here last time, so now we're going to be examining this place. And I'm gonna start with everything on the left side here, so let's check this out first. Is it? I guess actually, yeah, now that I look at it. Yeah, actually, I could see a few broken windows as well in the door there. You can see kinda, this thing is kind of all tilted here, or bent out of shape. And we've got some broken windows there. And I don't even know what's going on here. It looks like there's supposed to be windows, but they're all bricked in. That's interesting. Actually, we can examine that as well. Interesting. Alright, is that gonna be important, I wonder? Like, maybe one of the witnesses will live here or something? I don't know. Let's see. Well, we want to examine this weird bike. It looks... the way it's all bent out of shape like that, that seems like it's kinda... it's gonna be important in some way. I feel like it wouldn't have that detail if it wasn't, so let's check that out. Yeah, I wonder... I mean, I'm sure they had bicycles in Japan at this time, but I wonder... I feel like they looked different. Like, they had, like, really, really big front wheels or something. I'm not gonna edit in a picture or anything, but maybe next time, if I Google a picture of it and find one, I'll put it up on screen. We'll see. Yeah, fun fact, I also do not ride bikes. I've just never ridden one. So, actually, if you give me like 5 seconds, well, not 5 seconds, like a minute, I might be able to just Google a picture real quick and maybe put it up on screen. Hold on. Let's see here. We've got... this would be the Taisho period around there, so... let's see if we can find this. Or no, the Meiji era. This is the one that I'm thinking of. Hold on, I'll try and put it up on screen here. Okay, hold on. This is gonna be kind of weird to do, but... okay, here we go. I think it's worth it, because it's a really interesting detail. So, hold on. We've got a picture here Let me just grab that. I know that the process of trying to do this live is very riveting, but I mean, it's better than me having to edit it. Where the hell did I save that? I thought I had it. Okay, hold on. Oh, I put it in that folder. Well, that explains that. Okay, here we go. So, let me just move that around. So, yeah, you should see that now. That's the kind of bike that I was thinking of. How they have these, like, I guess, well, I can't really put the cursor in front of it, but you can see the giant wheel there and then the little wheel on the bottom. I remember seeing pictures of that. I don't know if that's actually the kind that they would have in this time period, but yeah, that's the one that I had in mind there. So yeah, anyway, I know that was very worth it, but anyway, let's examine some more things. How long did that take me? Like 2 minutes? Okay, so we've got some smoke up here. Yeah, now that you mention it, I can see that as well. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. Maybe some kind of landmark that hasn't been built yet in this time period, but that we would know about if I knew anything about London. Crystal Tower for the World's Fair. If I remember correctly, the World's Fair was a thing that kind of never really went anywhere. It was like supposed to replace the Olympics, and then they just kind of canceled it after the first one or something, or I don't know, there might have been several, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure it didn't go anywhere. So that was the whole skyline that we just examined. But we can also check out these chimneys. Well, yeah, I guess they would use coal to heat that up. Or I don't know if it would be coal necessarily, but they would use, I guess, probably burning wood to heat up bathhouses. So I think that's it for this side. We could also examine the street itself. Uh, don't see anything else. Alright, let's examine the street. Okay, wait, what? Why would the snow all be gone soon? Is that... Did she say something about that? Coaches often cross through Briar Road. Oh, I see. Right, she's kinda talking about how, because the coaches pass through, all the snow will be gone. Because they kind of move them as they go through. They kind of trample all over them. Alright, okay. So let's check the left side. We'll start with the left, or the right side here. We'll start with the left side of this screen. Do we want to talk to this guy, I guess? Might as well. Well, I mean, that hasn't stopped people in the past, at least for him. Yeah, it's already happened twice. I mean, yeah, he does look a little shifty. Let's see. We can examine this barrier. Okay, so the crime took place on that sidewalk. So if we look back at that map, I guess, would it be this sidewalk? Is the idea? That's the only thing that makes sense. Oh yeah, speaking of the word here, they're using Japs. So actually, I have a little correction. The previous episode, I said that was something that was invented in World War One, but it's actually not. The translators here actually, I don't know if it was the translation or if it was actually in the original Japanese as well, but they kind of did a good job here because this actually was a word that they used in England around this time. It only turned into like this offensive word in World War II, but before that, when it was used kind of in England, it was just kind of the average name that they used. It wasn't meant to have like any kind of offensive connotations. So people just kind of casually throwing it around. They're not really actually being that rude. Um, they're actually just it's just kind of like a commonplace nickname here. So of course in modern day it has different connotations, but in this time period it doesn't. So I found that interesting. I looked that up after talking about it last time. Technically, I guess, in league with, I mean, but no, that is not correct. I mean, it's not as if attorneys have the right to directly investigate crime scenes like this. That's never been a thing. But in a world where they don't even give us discovery, they don't let us see all the evidence and all that beforehand, then it makes sense for us to at least get a chance to examine. It'd be nice if Gregson would put in a word for us. He seemed kinda sympathetic to us, at least a little bit. But yeah, it doesn't look like we're gonna get to examine the actual crime scene itself. We can examine the snowman, though. Yeah, I wonder where that started. Like, if it was always just I don't know, the origin of snowmen. That's an interesting question. Alright, so... got a little coach here. Is that a police coach? Police buggy. Well, if she's read all the Sherlock Holmes stuff, then yeah, she would be. Are we seriously encouraging that? I feel like almost we're not quite there yet, but the kind of like assistant slash attorney relationship in the other original Ace Attorney games, where you have kind of like, I'm not gonna spoil it super hard or anything, but you have one kind of like criminally dubious assistant and then kind of a sort of straight-laced attorney. It feels like that's almost like reversed in this game a little bit. Not quite, but just a little bit. Like, she's kind of the one who's not really fond of messing around at crime scenes, whereas Naruhodo is the one who's kind of all over the place sometimes. Alright, and I know it was a joke, I'm just saying. I think that's everything. We really didn't get much from this place. We got the weird house with the boarded up windows, and we got the snowman. I wonder if the snowman might be relevant. Because if you think about it, you could hollow out like the inside of a snowman and hide inside it. Right? I wonder if they've investigated that at all. That would be pretty... That would be a pretty Ace Attorney thing for them to do, so... I'm gonna think about that theory as being pretty plausible here. But anyway, I think that's everything for this place, so... What's our next move? We've got a new destination. We can go to Holmes's room, right? Okay, well, we could check back of the jail, but he's probably not going to be there. Yeah. Yeah, that's how it usually goes. Whenever he's not needed for the plot, he's always in questioning. That's how it goes in Ace Attorney. Okay. So let's go with Holmes's room, 221B Baker Street, the home of the world's greatest detective. Sounds like we're gonna have a lot of correcting to do, so let's figure it out. We've got a pawnbroker, jewelers, across the street. Alright. So I have a feeling there's probably going to be a lot of Holmes references here that I'm not going to get, unfortunately, because I'm only, like... I've literally only played, or read, like, the first few chapters of the first book, so... you'll have to bear with that. Although I have watched a lot of Detective Conan, and there are a lot of Sherlock Holmes references in there, so I might get some of that. We'll see. I would guess not. At least, not that weird contraption on the left there. That seems very not like anything that is in the books. Of course, she's gonna have like a fangasm here. I wonder, I don't actually know, I wonder if that's ever actually literally happened, if, like, Holmes has ever literally searched for someone in a foggy street. I don't know, that seems kinda... I mean, I'm sure it's probably happened at least once, it seems like a pretty typical scenario. So I wonder if we're gonna get a chance to examine everything here. This feels like a Sherlock Holmes fan's, like, just wet dream, just examining literally everything here. I wish I had held off on playing this until I'd read more of the series, but just certain circumstances made me unable to read it in time, and you know, I didn't want to wait to play this, so... Okay, so it looks like we got someone here. Okay, so it's her again. I forgot if we got her name. I know her name from promotional materials, but I don't know if we actually heard it in game yet. I don't think we did. The weird thing about this, though, is that, well, I should wait until it's revealed who she is first, but I don't know, just like from the one book that I read, or the one part of the book that I read, it was never mentioned anything about Watson having any history of anything that could lead to her existence. So, I don't know. I have never even heard of the place called Bohemia. I don't even know if it's a real place, but it might be. Sounds like an interesting case, though. I look forward to reading it eventually, at some point. Yeah, well, we know it's the same person, but I could really picture this girl having the same voice as Chibi Moon slash Rini from Sailor Moon. I don't know. I just kind of hear that coming out of her mouth. You got the same like pink hair going on, kind of a similar shape. Although I can't really imagine any magical girl transformations happening in Ace Attorney. Okay, so she at least seems a bit more perceptive than Holmes. I wonder if she's actually the one solving all the cases, really. Like, she's always the one kind of correcting him, making sure he's on the right track. Oh god. Maybe I've played too many other games where characters have produced special blends of tea, but that does not bode well to me. Makes me think that it's not going to be very good. Okay, so it actually was not bad. That's good. Well, I mean, she seems to have a good idea of the situation. Honestly, I feel like that's good, that she's learning a lot from Holmes's methods. It just seems like so far she's better at it than he is, which is a little alarming. Not sure I'm a huge fan of that nickname. So she doesn't seem to recognize us from that point. Or maybe she does. I don't know. I feel like it wouldn't be too hard to put two and two together. She knows that we're a lawyer from seeing us at the courthouse there. She knows that we're Japanese just from seeing. I mean, just looking at the kimono that she's wearing, you could easily tell that she's Japanese. And also, she would know that uh, that Holmes was involved in that incident with the Japanese man. She could probably put two and two together, figure that stuff out. I'm just making assumptions, though. Maybe I just want there to be a smart character when there's actually not. I don't know. Alright, let's hear it. Yeah, Iris Watson. So, supposedly she's the granddaughter, I guess, of Watson, but I've never heard of him having a daughter or a wife or anything, really. But then again, I guess he could have gotten one throughout the books at some point. I don't know. It's always possible, but it's also possible that just in this game they're just saying that he had one that he never wrote about. That's also possible. That's actually, now that I think about it, I'm currently playing two games featuring a pink-haired girl named Iris. Alright. So now we've got all that out of the way. Alright, Ryu and... or Ryu. I don't know. It's hard to say, Ryu when you use, like, the English pronunciation of R's, because it just doesn't roll off the tongue right. Like, Ryu makes sense, but Ryu, it's kind of like, it's hard to do that. I don't know. But anyway, Susie, huh? We're just gonna go with that. I mean, that one works, I guess. Kinda an anglicized name there. Alright, so... the moment of truth. Do we want to talk to her, or do we want to examine literally everything in this room? I wonder if we actually start trying to examine things, if she'll kind of stop us. Let's take a look first. Okay, so we actually do get examining everything, and we get little explanations. An all-purpose analysis lens. Okay, so Holmes actually invented it. So I was under the impression, at least from the promotional material, that actually she was the one she was like this prodigy, and she was like the one designing all of Holmes's tech. But that might not actually be the case. What would, like, why would he not want anything analyzed? Like, I can think of plenty of things that... Actually, come to think of it, what did it say that could be analyzed? Like, hold on. It can analyze anything. Okay, but what does that mean necessarily? I mean, I guess I don't know. It can probably just produce things, like produce outputs that Holmes would probably be able to figure out just from looking at something himself, so it's probably useless to him. I don't know if that's necessarily possible. Okay, so we should actually check her profile. We probably got it. Yeah, there we go. She's literally 10 years old. She lives with Mr. Holmes, a wunderkind, so she is actually a prodigy. She holds a PhD in medicine and has published a very popular series of novels. Wait, she's the one who published? Okay, wait, what? That can't be correct. You can't have a PhD in medicine at 10 years old. I mean, unless you just, like, skip the whole process and just take the exam. I mean, I guess that's possible, but... Because it takes, like, how many years to get one? Like 5 or... Well, I have no idea, but it takes several years to get one, so... That means she would have had to... And the novels were published years ago as well, right? Like, long enough ago for them to have made their way to Japan, so... That means she would have been, like, several years younger when all that would have happened. I don't know, I'm finding that a little hard to believe. Alright, let's see. Don't see anything we can examine over here. Well, that sucks. I thought we'd be able to examine everything. I feel like this VR is probably a Sherlock Holmes reference that I'm not gonna get, but let's check it out anyway. I wonder if maybe he actually, like, at some point in the novels, like, does something like that to impress the Queen or something, and this is, like, him practicing in his room. Okay, so what is this thing over here? Looks like some kind of unscrupulous drug use device. Alright. Doesn't seem like we're really talking about anything in particular here, just kind of junk. You know, one thing that I am actually glad about, like, up until this point, I feel like we've been, I don't know, we've only had, like, Naruhodo and Susato here as, like, the main characters here, and I don't know, I don't know, I'm not so much of a huge fan of them, I don't think. Like, I feel like they're not the most interesting, I guess, as far as, like, Ace Attorney characters go. I feel like we're finally getting into some more interesting characters now at this point, like the 10-year-old genius who lives with Sherlock Holmes, and also Sherlock Holmes himself. We got into him as well the last few chapters, but I feel like we've been lacking in weirdo characters so far, and now we're finally getting there. Okay, so we've got a violin here. I know that he loves to play the violin. I don't know what a koto is, but I'm guessing it's some kind of Japanese string instrument that is comparable to a violin. Let me guess, you tried playing it and he immediately said, like, okay, stop that racket. But you have to make racket when you're trying to learn something, so I don't know. I feel like he just kind of shut that down. Shut down her creative impulses there. If he encouraged her a bit more, I don't know. I feel like she actually could have learned it, you know? Alright, nothing else on this side, it seems. I really don't like, having to move the cursor like this, but that's just a sacrifice of the mobile version. What else have we got? We can examine that, we can examine this. Got the fireplace, the tea. Okay. Let's examine this, note with a dagger, or letter with a dagger. Oh, we're examining the whole fireplace. Yeah, I imagine they probably don't have many fireplaces in Japan, where everything's made out of wood. I mean, at this point, in this era. Although, the kind of end of the Meiji era, into the Taisho era, that is kind of when they kind of started building a lot more stone buildings. So, yeah. And brick as well, so. Like, it's not as if everything is made of wood. I think they're kind of transitioning out of that phase at this point in time, in this time period. Okay, I feel like these are like references that they're kind of turning on their head here. Like, you're supposed to get a reference and then she's kind of shutting it down as something else, is the idea. Alright, we've got the tea set here. Okay. Also, she hasn't really shown any signs of, like, I don't know, like, any signs of being a 10-year-old, really. Like, she seems, like, extremely competent, extremely, like, well-mannered and everything. I don't know. I'm just waiting for, like, I guess she kind of gives people childish nicknames, but... Oh, there's a whole other thing over here. I didn't see that. Okay. Let's examine this shelf first. I don't even know if we're gonna get to talk to her this episode. I think we will, but... Okay. Oh, I was gonna say, are you the one who puts it back together? Because it doesn't look very cracked, but apparently he just buys new ones. Okay. Alright, so nothing else there. We've got some stuff over here. I feel like this is like Iris's side of this study, or the room. And yeah, I guess now that her grandfather... Well, actually, we don't know her situation. Like, I'm assuming she's the granddaughter of Watson, because I'm pretty sure I read that in promotional material when when the game was first announced. So yeah, but I feel like we don't know anything about her. We don't know if she has parents. We don't know anything. So, like, Holmes might be her guardian, or she might have other guardians. She might be, like, I don't know, self-sustaining. I don't know. She's got a PhD. Then she probably, who knows? V equals that P. I don't recognize any of these equations, but I'm not a very learned individual when it comes to that kind of stuff, so. Alright, we've got beautiful Western tea set. She can even garden. How does she have time for all this? She has time for, like, getting a PhD, publishing novels, and gardening, and preparing tea. I've yet to see any, like, character flaws in this person so far, but I have a feeling we're gonna get there. Huh. Okay, so we're going to be looking at that again later, once we talk to her a bit more. I wonder if they're poisons. Oh, okay. She's just brewing Molotov cocktails over here? That doesn't make any sense, but okay. That makes a bit more sense. But I feel like that there's kind of a non sequitur there. Okay, so we've got this typewriter here and a desk. And I think that's everything. I don't see anything else that we can examine. Alright, let's check this out. Yeah, I guess they might not have those in Japan at this point. Alright, so, anything I missed? Don't see anything, but we'll have to come back for that later. Alright, now let's actually, let's do some presenting first. We'll present her our armband, and we'll present her the map for no reason. Why would she know anything about your armband? Okay, looks like that's all the same. Alright. So, let's actually talk to her. We'll start with Iris, and then we'll talk about how she's a Watson, and then her reasoning. Well, I wouldn't say met, but... Gina Bean? Gina Bean? Gine Bean? I don't know how you're meant to read that. I don't want to say Gina Bean because that's... I don't know. That seems kind of weird. I guess Gina Bean. So I wonder if she actually invented that or if Holmes did. Because he made the analyzing machine, so it seems like he's capable of inventing things too. Maybe she's kind of like his protege. Okay, so she's at least got, like, technicians working for her and stuff. She's not, like, a single one-man army kind of person. Oh, okay. So she comes up with the designs, I guess, and he actually makes them. That kind of makes sense. Well, I don't think she's his exactly. Well, this is where Watson lived, so... But now that he's dead... I wonder if she's actually paying the bills here, like, paying her half, or... I don't know. Like, she is not talking like a 10-year-old at all. And here we go with this. Okay. Miracle child, born of... just created from the gravel, or the earth, shaped by the clay. Or just her parents are dead. Something like that. I mean, it's easier to write a character like that when you just don't have to worry about their parents at all. But they could have also just gone with, like, I don't know, I wonder if it's going to be one of those things where they could have just replaced it with, like, her parents are just in another country off doing something else. Or if there's actually going to be a story behind that. And if we'll actually get to see that this game, or if that'll be like something for the next game. Alright. So Watson, huh? Okay, so she wrote them, huh? Actually, come to think of it, when was Sherlock Holmes written? Let me just Google this real quick. (1892). And this is, I guess, closer to... Well, I don't know. I don't know... Because, like, I know that they kind of were published over a long period of time. So I wonder just how long that would... I don't know. I mean, we shouldn't think about it too hard, because technically, like, you could... This game could just hand-wave it away as, like, saying that they all came out at a different time than in reality, so... I don't know. We shouldn't worry about it too hard. I get caught up on these details. Okay, so who told her? Holmes? Or was it... Okay. But they're told through the perspective of the actual Watson, so... I mean, I guess is she just writing them from his perspective? Because it makes for a more compelling story. Are you gonna include the part where he was wrong about everything at first? Because... I don't know. The speckled band. Okay, so the cases are not always accurate to reality, is the idea here. Or the books. Every single one of them. And here we go. I mean, actually, they were written by Arthur Conan Doyle, but... Wait, are you telling me that the Professor Watson from the first case was not actually a medical doctor? Are you telling me that you fought in Afghanistan? Because that's clearly what the first book says, and that's not accurate. Like, I don't know. She probably is gonna explain it. Yeah. Some quick edits, like being a war veteran who fought in Afghanistan. I mean, it certainly would. There's no way that, like, the Watson in the stories has to be based on the guy from the first case, though, right? Or because if not, then who was he? I don't know. I feel like we're gonna learn more about that later. We're gonna keep going here until we get to the end of this dialogue tree, so. Yeah, we're gonna, I guess, ask her about her deductions here. She does seem to be way better at it than Sherlock, that's for sure. Even queerer. That's a choice word there. I mean, I understand the context and meaning and all that. It's not a word you see every day. Alright, let's hear it. I wonder if we're actually going to get any of those, I wonder if we're actually gonna get any of the, well, one of these, basically, is what I was gonna say, for her. But I wonder if we're actually gonna get some of these with her, other than just this one. It's, just like we got some with Sherlock. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah. So far, I'm on the right track with my guess of how she reasoned it out. Okay, so don't tell me that all those cases in the books that Sherlock solved, she's actually the one who solved them. And, Sherlock is just kind of the one who takes all the credit. I have a feeling that, when you talk about, or when they talk about her, they're gonna bring up this thing on her hand here. If you can see my cursor, yeah. I don't know what that is, but I have a feeling she's gonna point that out. Oh, okay, so she can read that, or she knows what that is. Like, how does a 10-year-old have enough life experience to know all these things, though? Like, you can't just learn everything like this from reading books. I don't know. I mean, I guess if she's running around doing all these crimes and stuff with Sherlock, I guess she would learn a lot, but it's hard to suspend my disbelief here. It's pretty difficult. Huh. Yeah, I had a feeling this was gonna come up as well. Yeah, okay. So she can actually... So she knows way more than Sherlock. I'm already, like, way more impressed with her than I am with Sherlock. And I like her, like, 10 times more. Although Sherlock is kind of fun and goofy. Like, basically, she is what I wanted out of Sherlock in this game. And, hit every single thing on the mark there. I wonder if Sherlock's actually going to end up being a witness in the trial. God, I hope not. I feel like he's not really the type to do that, right? Like, I feel like he's more of a before the trial kind of guy, but I don't know. I haven't read enough of his stories really to say. Well, no, because the real deal was a lot less impressive. So, yeah, I think we're gonna end it here. So next time we'll continue onward. I actually really like her so far. Basically, she's like I always really like really smart characters, and that's kind of what I was kind of hoping Sherlock was gonna be. I was hoping we would have kind of like a smart ally, but instead we got him, which is fun, but it wasn't what I was hoping for. And now we have her, and she is exactly basically what I was hoping for, so that's pretty cool. So, I'm interested to see where this goes, so until next time, take care, and I will see you then.